So a huge milestone for HLS and the human landing system for the Artemis program, right? The Artemis program, first woman to step foot on the moon, the sister program to Apollo. And going to the moon is going to be a huge next step. The human landing system could also potentially be used for Mars, although I think a Mars mission from NASA is a long way off. I think if I had to guess, there would be a lot more infrastructure put in place before that ever happened, although SpaceX will definitely take a shot at it before then. But this is about setting up a sustainable and consistent, continuous human space travel for international partnerships like we've had with the International Space Station, and have these different stations at locations like the moon, Earth like we have with the ISS, Mars, and places where it's valuable to have a docking station. You can take the spacecraft to the orbiting station, park there, refuel potentially, right? You could get supplies, you could rest, you could there's so many different things that you can't do with a mission that's simply go, orbit, land, come back. That's not sustainable. That's not something you can do consistently. The amount of effort and technique and ability it took for those pilots on Apollo 11 to land the first time, it wouldn't have happened without those people on board. And so how do you do that, right? Like, it's like flying across the country, right? You want it to be the point where anybody could technically go. Anyone could buy a ticket and go. We're never going to get to that point in space if we don't have these stations set up around these areas to make the trip easier. Then you only have to match the speed of the orbiting station, and then take another part of your mission, assess the spacecraft, right? Check it out, give it a diagnostic, make sure everything's right before you even do your next part of the mission, instead of basically relying on the fact of your orbital momentum, right? If you don't have a way to stop and turn, your only option is to go with what your orbital mechanics that was set up in the first place. So if you don't make it that first time, you got to come back. That's it. You missed it. It's time to go. With stations in place and a much greater infrastructure, we could start making these missions a little bit easier. It would increase the ability for commercial activities to send people up there to develop materials, to develop drugs, to develop all these different things that a microgravity environment would be helpful for. It also helps us learn more about our own planet and what it takes to live there, to do continual observations. And, if we're going to go to a place like the moon, it would be good to send a place closer to actually observe the areas where we may want to go. Try out these missions to start with. So